Feral Khan Mercenary Squad has a new assignment. They must learn how to combine and form Feral Rex. The Ground Assaulter charges in. Fortis might be headstrong, but he has the power to back it up. Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to Feral Rex Week. Day 4, we'll be taking a look at R05 Fortis, the Mercenary Ground Assaulter. Now this guy is the other leg. He was also the second released, which was kind of interesting. He was supposed to be number 5, but he was ready early because Bovis was already done, so he became out the second. So that was pretty neat. Here's his box, very similar to Talon, Bovis, and Leodux. It is the normal size that Bovis and Talon have, so that's pretty nice. And opening it up, you can see Fortis there, and his artwork looks really nice. Looks really nice. And of course, he has his instruction comic book, which is really cool. And his trading card. His trading card here shows Fortis in his ground assaulting pose, I guess. And you can see all of his stats. Super, super cool. Really, really neat. I love these plastic trading cards. They're awesome. Let's take a look at Fortis. So here is Fortis's Rhinoceros mode. He has a rhino. He has a bit of headstrong. And as you can see, he's a very nice looking rhino. Now he's primarily yellow. The other Feral Khans up to this point we had primarily orange Talon, primarily orange Bovis, yellow and orange Leodux, now primarily yellow Fortis. So the thing is with him is that he was a little bit more orange in the Transformer Generation 1 Headstrong, but they did go for a more yellow with this guy, which I think works, and you'll see why when we get to Feral Rex himself, when everything's combined. Now, Fortis does share a mold with Bovis, so there is that fact. As you can see here, he looks very nice. Articulation-wise is the same as Bovis, so you got the, you have the ball jointed here, ball joint here, ball joint here, left and right head swivel, as well as an opening mouth that goes too far and you see a robot face. So you do have that going on. And overall, he does look nice, if a little similar to Bovis. Now, in order to offset the cost of the figures, Bovis and Fortis are actually from the same mold. Now, they are retools of each other, but Mastermind threw in a little differences, and I want to do this side by side. Now, with Fortis here, he is a rhinoceros, and Bovis is a bull. So, naturally, the heads are completely different. They work on the same principle, with the same transformation and the same side-to-side neck movement, but they are completely different molds for the head, which is pretty nice. Also, the hooves are different. As you can see, Fortis has these 3-toed hooves, more akin to a rhino, while Bovis has the 2-toe for the bull. Other than that, you can see that the side panels here are only different in that there's a vent here and there are cannons here. So that part is different as well. Take a look at the top. The transformation for Fortis is flipped so that these, so the feet are on top and the back is on top as opposed to the chest and the legs. So that's kind of neat the way they did that basically. As you can see that the bottom of Bovis is the top of Fortis. Now also on Fortis here, he does feature a couple other minor retools. Namely, he has vents here instead of the triangles, and he has a new chest plate. So that's pretty neat overall. Now, other than that, the molding is the same, transformation is the same, except this guy's flipped. So there is that, but I do think it's neat that despite having the same mold for both of these guys, the colors are different enough, and the modes are different enough, and the little details here and there make them look like different figures, which is really, really nice. Now, much like Bovis, he can store all of his weapons in beast mode. Of course, 4 pegs, 4 weapons. That's how it works here. Kind of like putting the cannons towards the front on this guy, as that does give him a different look from Bovis with his swords towards the front. And the pegs that are used for the back connection are used to hold this on here, like that. So, again, really heavily armored, animal. So, really heavy armored rhino. Again, here's a size comparison with G1 Wrecker Rook. So you can kind of see how he sizes up next to Deluxe Class Transformer, which is super impressive. And overall, Fortis' beast mode is pretty neat. Here is Fortis in robot mode. He's very similar to Bovis, and I want to get that comparison out of the way to start. As you can see, the heads are different because they have a different animal. Faces are different. He's more calm, he's more angry. Chest plates are different. That's about it. They transform about the same. The only difference is you don't have to do rotating on him. And that's pretty much the differences between these two. Now, Fortis here is really cool looking. I like his yellow and red. I think the yellow and red works well for this guy. As you can see up top, on his head, he does have a nice face sculpt. Again, different from the original promotional art, so there is an alternate face included with Fellow Saber. And you can flip it down, so you can give him a rhino head, which is pretty fun. And also, he has the same articulation, so he's got left and right neck swivel, ball joint shoulders, double joint elbows, wrists that swivel and pivot inward. You also have a waist joint. You also have hip joints for back, knee, ball joint, and toe joint. Now, his joints aren't as loose as my Bovis. If you notice, my Bovis was a little loose because I've messed with him so much. These joints have loosened up over time. Now, the thing is that with Fortis, there's a little detail here. I did want to point this out on Fortis since Bovis' review ran a little long. These little hip guards can totally be folded away. I actually kind of like doing that for Fortis here, giving a little bit different look. They can be folded away. These pieces can be folded away if you don't want those there. You can give them slimmer hips if you'd like. I kind of like keeping these back for, Fortis to give them a little bit different of a look. But there isn't a whole lot you can do to give them, vast changes. Except for his weapons. His weapons are completely different from Bovis -1. Here are Fortis' twin light diffraction daggers. Again with that dagger word. Now these are very similar to Bovis' weapons in that they are twin blades, but they are designed to be held this way. You can have them hold the other way, but they are specifically designed to hold this way. I think it works with them being shorter blades. You can just kind of slash things a lot quicker, which I think really works in his favor. Different kind of look with the weapons. Naturally, the two blades do attach to his arm or his hip, which is a great option for parts. Now his other weapons aren't as versatile, as his twin plasma sphere cannons really only work on his arm. They are very much designed to plug onto his arm. They also can extend. You can have them shorter or longer. And when you try to plug them onto the leg, it just looks a little weird. They don't really store there very well, and they don't hold in at all. Nor can he really hold them. He can hold them. It just looks really, really off. The only place I've seen these really work is on his arms, and I have not figured out any way of storing them that makes it look any good. Just like Bovis, Fortis comes with a twin motor launcher. It's almost identical to Bovis's, it just has the opposite hand for Pharaoh Rex. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. So naturally, it stores on his back the same way as it does on Bovis. Overall, Fortis is not as necessarily good as Bovis. I find that I like Bovis's colors and his bull mode a little bit better than Fortis. Fortis kind of feels like the same thing almost, which is a bit of an issue. Now, I know the reason why they're similar molds. They both had to form legs. It was a slight cost-saving measure using most of the same mold. But they do look different enough. And honestly, they make a nice pairing with the supply specialist and the ground assaulter carrying in these giant weapon packs that they'll need later for limbs. Kind of works with the whole team aspect. You do need the two of them to carry these things, and they're bricks of, robots to help carry. So, it is pretty neat that he does match Bovis in that way, but when it comes to action figures, it's not as interesting. I think it works as a pairing, but not as an action figure as well. But overall, Fortis still is solid. Bovis is a very solid figure. Fortis is the same thing. If you're only going to buy one, pick your favorite animal. That's pretty much all I can say. That is all for Day 4 on Pharaoh Rex Week. Stay tuned for tomorrow, when the Shock Trooper arrives, known as Tigress. Anyways, until then, be sure to check out HeroTaku.com for all your Transformers news and more. And until next time, Soundout saying goodbye.